HyperSpace High, the school that's out of this world. Frozen Enemies, written by Zac Harrison. Chapter 1. John Riley was surrounded by aliens. Out of the darkness they came, hundreds and thousands of them, tall gray creatures with large black eyes, little green men, beings with tentacles and antennae, as well as other even stranger creatures. Crowding in on him, they babbled in strange languages that John couldn't understand. Shaking his head, he tried to back away, but the crowd of aliens followed him, pressing closer and closer. One of them reached out with long blue fingers and gripped his shoulder. John Riley? John Riley, are you all right? Do you need to go to the medical center? John's eyes snapped open. He lifted his head and looked around the room. What? He stuttered. Around him, the aliens had turned in their seats to stare. It's a dream. I'm dreaming. His shoulder was shaken again. John Riley, said the voice. John looked up and yelped as he found himself looking into violet eyes with black slits in the center. Stop freaking out. Calm down. This is not a dream. It's a classroom. You're in a classroom at HyperSpace High. John blinked for a second. And you just hunked out at your desk. He was told by a part of his brain that had woken up a little more quickly. Reality came flooding back. The alien glaring down at him was the hyperspace history teacher, Miss Vartexia. The other aliens were all pupils, and John was a first year at HyperSpace High, the most amazing school in the universe. It had been founded thousands of years ago by the reclusive scholars of Carly. Miss Vartexia, John stammered. I must have fallen asleep. The blue-skinned, bald Elvian finished for him. Taking her hand from his shoulder, she crossed her long, thin arms. Frown lines appeared on her dome forehead. I guess John stuttered. Nice one, Riley, he told himself silently. Way to go, way to get caught. Attending school on the vast, technological, advanced spaceship hundreds of light years from home still felt odd most of the time, but he was starting to feel like he belonged here. However odd life on HyperSpace High was, he definitely didn't want to get sent back to a boring Earth school. The lines on Miss Vartexia's forehead faded. She looked down a little more kindly. John's shoulders sagged with relief, as he had found out the day he had first arrived at HyperSpace High. The Elvian teacher was strict and had no sense of humor whatsoever. But she was prone to making mistakes, which meant she was quite forgiving when others messed up. Good thing it wasn't Dr. Garl's class, John caught himself thinking. I shall have to give you some extra work, Miss Vartexia replied briskly. You are still struggling with hyperspace history, so you cannot afford to sleep through classes. John nodded. The punishment could have been a lot worse. I almost suggest you make sure that you are getting enough sleep, the teacher continued. I understand Earthlings are a primitive species and require plenty of rest. Inwardly, John groaned at the word primitive. In the month he had been at HyperSpace High, he had heard that human beings were a backward species about 1,000 times. But she's right. I'm not getting enough sleep, he told himself. The previous night, John and his roommate, Cal, had been exploring the functions of the entertainment thin screen in their dorm room. After lights out had HyperSpace High, John Riley finds out that museums in outer space are anything but boring when his class travels to the planet Arceus Major. But the visit soon starts to go wrong when two alien armies are accidentally released from cryogenic storage. It's up to John and his friends to get them back on ice. Can they stop these mortal enemies before an intergalactic war breaks out? Jump on board the school that's out of this world.